Hello, and welcome to a special web edition of Talking Points. I'm Josh Carney, filling in for Alex Miko. Earlier tonight, we talked about the incredible situation the Republican Party finds itself in. Donald Trump is endangering the chances of not only himself, but also down-ballot Republicans. This topic is so large and complex that we couldn't fit it into one show, so here with me to continue our discussion are Dan Prager, Joey Lino, and Tom Viola. Guys, thanks for being here. Alrighty. Dan, earlier today we talked about how Republicans are starting to distance themselves from Trump. Why now?
Well, a lot of the time, the Republicans and mostly Trump and his supporters have focused on this distrust of the media. And now that there's a tape, there's visual evidence, Trump can't say, oh, I didn't do this, because there is clear video evidence of him saying this. So Republicans can't really say, oh, maybe he didn't do it. Also, another reason that might have something to do with it, it's kind of okay in Republican circles to sometimes attack especially Hispanic illegal immigrants. And the things Trump has said about them or about Muslims do not really hurt Republicans as much. But a big demographic like women specifically, that can really hurt a Republican's chances and really make them look terrible.
Yeah, actually, the Trump's polls among women, specifically suburban women, lately have actually been falling pretty poorly. He's been doing very, very poorly among them this week.
It's a big gender gap, yeah.
But the other reality of it is simply that Trump is losing now. With everything else before, Trump was never losing. So there was no reason for Republicans to start abandoning the ship. Now that this scandal has come out and he is actually starting to seriously lose and it keeps getting worse every day, it makes more sense for them to jump ship now. It's like Trump is a landmine. You don't want to hug a landmine. That's a terrible electoral strategy.
But for those that are hugging that landmine, what is Trump's impact on all of this?
Well, for those that are still supporting Trump, which is very few of them at this point, and again, losing more every day.
Well, it's not very few. Most Republicans still are, but there are an unprecedented number that aren't.
The toll is rising.
Yeah.
And for the one, it's tough to say because a lot of the studies are showing that the down ballot effect of a Hillary Clinton landslide might not be that huge. So it's possible for some of these senators and representatives that are going up for election.
But do you think the reason why they're hanging on, though, at this point is to protect the down ballot candidates?
I'm not sure, honestly, because the problem is that Trump is still having an effect on that. He's having a massive effect on the party as a whole, and he's coming out and attacking.
Joey, in real quick.
Yeah, the poll. So we won't really know for certain until next week if there's a real effect from the Access Hollywood tape and the debate on Trump's polling if there's a down ballot effect from Trump. But both Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan have kind of allowed the members of their respective bodies of Congress to not worry about the general election, do what they need to do to win their election in November.
But those are key party leaders, so how is that going to ultimately impact this entire race as a whole?
It's the electorate's choice, but it's really a lose-lose situation because the people that are unendorsing Trump is going after them, and his supporters are really going after them. Trump at one point said there are going to be a lot of these Republicans who go out, vote for Trump, and don't vote for these Republicans as revenge. So really, it could hurt them either way if they go for Trump or don't go for Trump.
Yeah, exactly. It's a rock and a hard place.
A small protest vote like that could be enough to swing a number of districts.
There you go. And then when it comes to how Trump's performance is going to actually impact these down ballot races, what is that actually contributing to in that stage? So how is his performance in debates, his performance on the national scale, his image, and his role within the party ultimately impacting not the race, but how the party will survive in the immediate term?
Well, this shifts twofold. On the one hand, you have Trump as a brand and as a businessman. Right. At this point, he'll never say it, but he's aware that this is over. He's not going to win, and the odds are that it's going to get worse before it gets any better. Trump is trying to cultivate this idea that he's being stabbed in the back. He's saying that I could have won, but it was these people like Paul Ryan, it was the establishment Republicans, it was the media who stabbed me in the back and stopped supporting me, and that's why I'm losing. It's not true, but that's what he's going to say because he wants to try and be able to survive as a brand moving forward. The Republican Party is trying to do the opposite.
Yeah, that brings up an interesting point. At a Pence campaign event in Iowa on Monday, a woman asked Governor Pence she didn't ask, but she said, if Hillary Clinton wins this election, I'm going to be ready for revolution because we can't have her. And whether or not it's to protect his own image is irrelevant, I think. It seems that, I don't know, it could be stirring up a lot of tension coming up to
the really big
day.
issue here is that with a normal Republican candidate, they have stake in how the Republican Party does. Trump doesn't. If Trump flounders and ruins the chances of other Republicans, he doesn't care. He's mostly in this for himself, whether he likes to admit this or not.
But that's exactly what he's doing.
That's a huge problem.
At this point, he's just trying to take down everyone with him.
Yeah, and
Well, it's not a matter of if he's taking down everything with him. I mean, the objective goal of his organization now is they're saying he's going to create Breitbart 2.0, and ultimately his political aspirations start and end with this race. So when you put it all on the Trump brand and put it all on the Trump electoral ticket, it is a rock and a hard place for the Republicans. But the fact that they haven't organized it behind it, the fact that Rents has lost control of his collective party, and the fact that it's now leading to a down ballot effect is a real breakdown in terms of how the party will be able to survive.
I would like to point out, though, the down ballot effect is noticeable, but it's not as bad as you'd think, especially in the Senate. In the Senate, while Hillary's chances have gone up, like on all the political prediction markets, the Senate, it's gone up, but only by a little bit, not
True,
nearly
and I
as
think
much.
that if people are looking at the individual people that they can put in office, and you see around the country, angry people are voting for Trump, old people are voting for Trump, white people are voting for Trump, that will still remain the same within many districts. And it's not going to sway drastically when you have states that have been locked up for years. The problem is how the national brand is being determined and how it will impact the race going forward.
The other major issue with it is how he performed in the second debate. Trump's expectation for the second debate was as low as possible. It was he simply needed to survive,
Right.
And he did that.
He
So
stopped the
some
bleeding.
saw that he won the debate. What happens now is these politicians who were ready to jump ship. There was even a rumor that Mike Pence was going to drop. That can't happen now because he stopped the bleeding to the point where he can actually say he's still running a campaign. So some of these Republicans are again caught between that rock and the hard place of whether to desert or not.
Joey, you were talking about something before that was really important. The Republicans are going as a check to Hillary Clinton. That's their campaign
That's true.
strategy.
Yeah, that's a lot of the governor. I mean, any down ballot Republican right now at the beginning of this week was preparing their campaign to be campaign themselves as a check and balance on Clinton.
Well, we see that there are some drastic problems taking place within the Republican Party on that side of the ballot, and it's certainly going to inhibit the race as it goes forward. Will the Trump brand be able to survive? Who knows? Will the ticket be able to survive? Who knows? All we know is that we've got 3 weeks left till the general, and that's what both these candidates are going to be fighting for. Thanks for joining us on this web exclusive. We'll see you next week on Talking Points.